So you can see the coast right there.
It looks like it's windy.
And actually, this looks like a lot of, like it does in my house, except for you can see mountains on the other side.
True. Because we have a giant lake glass.
So it's getting kind of late. It's dark, getting dark. Golden hour is upon us and fastly leaving.
It's gonna be blue hour.
But we're gonna try we're trying to find a spot for a podcast really quick because we got here, we dropped the trailer off the hotel. We're gonna go find a podcast spot and talk about this guy.
Maybe shoot some over crank. I don't know, maybe not.
Of tacos.
Dude, Wahoo tacos.
So anyway, we're gonna go do that. So hopefully we'll see you over there. Hey, we found a pretty cool spot. Look at this, everyone's out watching the sunset. Yeah, let's just go down a little ways. That's pretty cool. Okay, so, hold on a second. Where's the... Jared, what are you doing?
I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm getting crazy with the URSA Mini.
You just forgot it. It's on the floor over there.
I'm doing a time lapse. I'm doing a time lapse on it.
Well, I'm doing a time lapse too. Look.
You are?
It's right down here. Time lapse.
Oh yeah.
Classic films. Okay, so we drove down to, where are we?
We're in Corona del Mar.
So I could probably take this off because I don't have to monitor. The Corona del Mar, and it's beautiful. I wish you could see it. The one thing the GH4 is lacking is dynamic range. So there is the sunset, super cool. And we have all the way out here our coast. I love the coast. And Jared, these are your stomping grounds. Well, kinda.
I did some surfing down here, not a ton.
But I'm really a landlocked boy from Utah. But you can call this place home, right?
Yeah. Oh, we were going this way because we're
seeing the cool beach, at least.
Yeah. I mean, I'm more of a NorCal,
as you like to say.
Yeah. I think I can officially say that.
I look really short, but that's okay.
Okay, you can give me a haircut.
We haven't had a podcast in a long time.
That's true.
And we figured we probably better do one. We're down here doing a project, doing a couple commercials, and we drove
Checking
down.
me into rehab.
We drove down today.
No, are we not filming a rehab center?
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
So I mean, everyone thinks.
That's what I told his wife what we were doing. Was doing a commercial.
It's intervention.
But you have a new toy, guys. Look, Jared got a new toy. What is that?
It is the URSA Mini Pro.
You gotta hold up. Yeah, there you go. See all the cool buttons. And you know, there's tons of reviews. People have talked about this camera, but let's talk about it. Well, first off, let's talk about my camera. Sadly, my camera, the other day, we shot a bunch of interviews. The next day, I went to go shoot some more speaking parts, and
yeah,
the mic preamps had just kaput, basically.
Died.
And I tried. I think it had something to do with the phantom power. So
possibly. There's a phantom power because I can't remember all this. Once we talked about it, I think it was.
So I think I had never run phantom power. All my mics have internal power, plug-in power, whatever, off of the other devices I'm using. So I never had to. So anyway, the one mic, the client had an NG3 something, Droid NG3, which needs phantom power. So I turned it on. Anyway, something went wrong with it. I have no longer any microphone inputs. Yeah. The internal mic works fine for scratch, so it's been fine. I've been running an external recorder like always, and it should be good to go. So anyway, I am sad about that. So I called Blackmagic, got a repair number. I'm going to send it in next week. But and I'm going to try and watch this and put reference time code to whatever we talk about, so that we've had a lot of comments are like, you guys just talk way too much.
We just ramble.
We do. We ramble quite a bit.
Dude, I look handsome today.
You have way too many Diet Cokes in the car. But it's because you're back in California.
That's true, dude. I'm like seriously stoked.
I wish we could stay longer. I would totally love to do some surfing.
Yeah, some surfing. Even just like go and get. I brought my swimsuit. Did you bring your swimsuit?
Yeah.
We're smart.
I might have to do some early morning coastline.
We could do that thing where you run and I ride my skateboard.
That sounds like fun.
That sounds like we're doing it.
But anyway, so back to the camera. So anyway, my camera has issues. So let's talk about the Pro though. So you've shot on mine a whole bunch.
Yeah, I love it.
Especially kind of some E&G style stuff. Obviously, we've shot some shorts with it. We shot some narrative stuff. We shot some commercial stuff. And this is going to be the first time you've rolled out the Pro for this project. And we're running 2 cameras tomorrow. Not because there's budget for it, but because it's going to make our lives easier. Because we're going to do a lot of Ronin.
Tons of Ronin.
And then potentially some interview stuff, and potentially some slider stuff. And you could argue that you can get a slider to kind of look on the Ronin, but just to be safe, we're gonna run 2 cameras. The camera's already rigged on the Ronin, ready to go. We're gonna run Jared's Rhino.
The Rhino. Yes, the Rhino. We have the carbon version. So it's technically a little overweight.
Well, we might have to strip it down just a skosh if we need to, but you know.
Strip it down.
Anyway, all right, so for those of you who don't know, the Pro is exactly the same camera as the URSA Mini 4.6, except for the fact, the same sensor.
Same sensor.
Same audio preamps. Pretty much it's the same insides besides the card slots. Otherwise, the big upgrades are...
Is there no wind? We're gonna do an exclusive because everyone wants to see this.
Okay, so this is what everyone is wanting for. Blackmagic did a good job. They listened to their audience.
You wanna hold that?
And they wanted.
Okay, wait for it.
They wanted onboard internal physical indies.
This is I would not normally do this. Hurry, let's put it back on. Put it back on.
But when I was listening to the announcement, you're almost there. There you go. Watching the announcement. They said, we have built-in indies. I was like, mind blown. Blackmagic, good job. Listening to your client base. I've never bothered asking for them because, you know, coming from a cinema background, we've always been able to manipulate, use on lens stuff, matte boxes, whatever. But I can appreciate definitely the E&G background, wanting to have built-in indies.
Right around the corner.
Oh, I just remembered I have a lav on, and corn nuts would totally...
Yeah, it would totally make it...
Okay, unusable.
Unbearable.
Okay, I will save my corn nuts.
But okay, so we were talking about back to the Indy in the car. You said you feel like it goes from what don't quote us on it, but okay, 0 is clear. 1 is 3 stops.
It goes 2, 4, and 6.
So 2 stops, 4 stops, 6 stops.
Yes, I did check that on the way down.
But you're kind of wishing that the 6 was maybe 8.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. You only got 4 slots, so that's where. Like the FS7, like they have made it so it just stays in front and it's variable. I think I was testing it noon, 0 sun in Utah.
0 clouds?
0 clouds, and I was at 1.8, and I was overexposed by 1.5 stops at 6 stops of ND.
So if you had to go to 1.8, then maybe just a touch more ND would be nice, although I'm going to say that's probably not a big deal.
2.8, you were right back in the thing, you drop it down to ISO 200, and you were right back in the game. So I was not disappointed. I think, honestly, maybe the problem is, I think, like tonight on the 2, we were picking up the really cool reflection on, so we're at 4 right now. Maybe I should roll on this so we can kind of get a reference. So that's 4, 2, or that's 4, that's 6, and that's clear.
And you're at 400 right now.
I'm at 400, but I am shooting over cranked.
Oh, right, okay.
So that's something to keep in mind. If we wanted to go to, maybe we'll shoot some more at...
So things that stand out to me right off the bat are obviously the NDs, which are nice. The LCD screen is a little bit smaller. I feel like I'm using the Panasonic GH or the Panasonic DVX100 again. The bezels around the screen are huge, but the screen's not that small. It's still very usable, and if you really want to go big, you can grab yourself, an external monitor like you always do. You're not running the EVF right now.
No, just because I knew it'd be golden hour, so I knew it'd be good to see, and I knew we were gonna shoot over crank. So that's what it looks like at 24 frames per second.
That's nice.
And that's with the
That's with the two stop, or is it two stops?
Mm-hmm, that's clear.
Okay.
Although again,
oh, cool! It's got a little. I haven't seen that on the screen. It's got a little indicator that tells you how many stops down you are on the ND. That's kind of cool. All right, so all the buttons on the outside. Why this is a big deal and why it's so cool is because when you're operating, this just happened to me. I hadn't operated this camera in E&G style quite really yet until the other day when we were doing this kind of event shooting, and all of a sudden, yeah, they call them blind buttons because usually when you have the camera up and you're operating, you want to be able to manipulate the settings on the fly blind, because if you have your face up to the EVF so you can see what you're shooting, you don't want to be like having to pull away to look at stuff. So are the audio dials blind as well?
They are blind, but they have a lot more girth. Like if you were
to over here, let's see. Show us. It's kind of getting hard to see, but it's all that. Okay, so yeah, they're there. Even though, so if you're operating, you can still reach them. So here are our audio dials. We have all of our kind of manual buttons there. I love the time code on the outside now. Record. These are very, very classic kind of E&G style stuff for these
So
the switches.
So what this is this is for EVF. So it's a push button scroll wheel
for your menu.
For
right?
your menu. Monitor and headphones. It's going to be. But then the thing I love the best right here is it comes from the factory. This is your waveform monitor. Or no, sorry, no waveform. Sorry,
it's your false color.
False color, and then this is your LUT, so you can turn your LUT on and off, and then you got your high frame rate button.
And that's pretty sweet. So the high frame rate's pretty awesome because, I mean, I can't think of how many times they're like, oh, switch, quick, we want to get this shot at, overcranked. Then you got to hold on, menu, what mode is it in, Whereas this one, you can just kind of go, boom. I mean, you can set presets on the URSA Mini, but again, you have to go into the menu, you have to hit a preset, you have to come back out and go. Yeah. With this one, you can just go on, which is pretty awesome.
Which the presets are awesome. That's one of the things I absolutely love. So if I want to do a quick time lapse, you just go to your presets. You can do time lapse presets. You can do like a LUT preset.
This is gonna be the shortest podcast we've ever done.
I know, everyone's be like, hurrah!
All right, so really quick, let's talk about the dual card slots. Have you used the SD card slots yet?
Yes, I have actually two 32 gig. They're like 180 megabyte per second cards.
So can you do UHD stuff in it, or is it only for like HD size? Should we try it?
Let's try it. Let's switch it to SD. So there's actual hard button.
There's a hard switch.
There's a hard switch that was right here. So you switch it to SD. We will go, let's do Ultra HD for ProRes 422.
Yeah, that'll work. It's a pretty common format.
It's showing 7 minutes and 8 minutes, so just because they're
not.
And let's roll.
Look at that. So well, if they're big, if they're fast enough cards, and these are not the regular SD. They're like the slots. They're like the super SD fast ones. I don't know what the next generation is.
Yeah, the SDX, the SHS2. And that's not what these cards are.
These are just regular.
These are regular. They're like 180 megabyte per second. Actually, they might be even slower. They might be.
And you're still rolling, right? So
still rolling.
That's really good. So you could roll some good So initially,
some ProRes HD or UHD.
Yeah. So if you wanted to get into this camera and not spend a whole bunch of money on CFast right away, you could be operating ProRes, it looks like, which is nice.
Yeah,
and those are cheaper.
Sweet.
Even the super because so my GH5 should be here in about a week or so, but it's going to require the super fast SD cards, the generation, whatever they are. I'm not great on those names, so I have to look into those. But that's cool. You can just drop some cards in right away. That's been always the biggest gripe with these new cameras, that you have to buy all these new media systems. And I've been shooting a lot of ProRes UHD because a lot of stuff I've been delivering is going straight to cable TV, and so you want that resolution to be, you know exactly what you're getting. The director's looking at it, you can see it's going to be scaled halfway down, you're good to go. And ProRes is just convenient for a tight turnaround. So,
you think we can find a volleyball and go play some volleyball?
There's probably a little kid we could steal it from.
Do you notice that every time I talk to the camera, I go like this?
It's like kids who have to hold the microphone. It's about time for some tacos. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do some wahoos. And we're at 14 minutes. This is unprecedented.
That's pretty. Well, that's not too bad though.
So hopefully
All right,
we gave you some information about
this. Do I need to upgrade? Do I need to upgrade to the Pro right now? If they gave me a couple grand path to upgrade, that would be great. I would love to do that, especially if mine's already in to getting fixed. And if I said, hey, what if I wanted to upgrade? That'd be great. But I'm stoked to see what happens at NAB. Although I do not, my prediction is no new sensors, no new cameras until next year, because they've just did the Pro. They did some other stuff like that. I'm sure they're working on some things. It would be nice to have a 6K sensor. That'd be kind of cool, but I don't see that happening. And even if they did, it might be more of a, if they announce something like that, it may be more of a, it's coming. Oh, the other thing that I'm super stoked about is the interchangeable lens mounts.
Ooh, we didn't even talk about that.
No. And that's a big deal because I've got a couple PLs just sitting around doing nothing. I was like, should I sell these? Should I not? Should I hang on to them?
It totally makes so much, if you have an ENG lens.
Yeah, so you can go B4, B2, whatever the B mounts are for the old school ENG cameras. You can go Nikon eventually. I think that's coming out pretty soon, if not already. Canon, obviously, PL. There's just a lot of really good options, and it's not like the old URSA where the turret had to be swapped out. It took a little while to do, I think.
I'm doing a Marco Polo.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
But this, it takes 4 screws, kind of like, or 5 screws, just like the Red used to, and you got it swapped out, and you got yourself a new mount to go, and you can utilize all those lenses.
They are coming out with a Nikon mount, an active Nikon mount.
Oh, an active Nikon mount, because most Nikons are just kind of like, they're hardware and because they're so simple, but
yeah, they're doing an active Nikon, which there's a few Nikon lenses that I love, and I have a bunch of legacy glass that mounts on Nikon, so I would like to see a Nikon as well.
So you're running the Sigmas?
Sigmas, yeah. I just copycatted you, basically.
It's because I know exactly what I'm doing. Make it up as we go.
That's more true than. Oh, people are making fun of us now.
Oh, you do need to get the Sony. I haven't talked about this. We'll talk about it. I got the dovetail, the Sony dovetail quick release, which is super nice to have on your tripod, because this is a little hokey the way Blackmagic has only given you one thumb screw or one screw point to mount your mounting plate on. The shoulder, I like the shoulder mount. Some people think it's a little bit hokey. I like it a lot. I like the rails. I like the handle, all that stuff. It's ready to go, but having that Sony that you can pop, that dovetail you can snap right onto your tripod, it feels a lot more secure. And to get the cheaper ones, they're only a couple $100 online, and so we'll have to get you that because that's a good one to do.
Lois Lane, the recent sighting of Superman. Can you explain it?
And then you have this really cool. We'll have to talk about this later, but these are some really cool, super slim. Lens gears, where I just got some cool Lutz ones, and you got these other cool ones that are even smaller, which I like because they'll fit in your case.
Yeah, I like. Thing is, I do still plan on doing photography with these, and so it's nice because I'm gonna leave them on.
Stuck with this huge.
Yeah.
All right, it is time for tacos.
Time for tacos.
Pretty much lost the light. We're gonna go get tacos. We're gonna make sure the cart's plugged in. Maybe I'll do another podcast around the cart tonight because I re-engineered the cart.
And we'll shoot some BTS tomorrow.
It's gonna be a fast day tomorrow. We have to shoot some BTS. It's gonna be a fast-paced day.
Maybe just time lapse on the GoPro.
And then sadly, it's gonna be back home pretty quick because it's my kids I have 2 kids that have soccer games the same day tomorrow.
Officer, listen.
You're used to that, right?
We have permits.
This is Jared flashback to his youth.
I can walk in a straight line.
I can do it, officer.
All right.
Okay. Look at this cool. I love the coast.
Oh, it's so nice.
That's a pretty grainy image from the GH4.
But it's a super sweet location for.
It is.
Yeah.
All right, turning this off.